This is Marfoogle News. Tonight we're going to talk about a ton of breaking stories, including Prince William possibly admitting that we need to get off Earth. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. All right. What is going on? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We have a ton to cover in a short amount of time, so we're going to get right into it. But remember, you can actually follow along. We make sure to back up every single article, tweet, video, document that we show you here. We give you the sources on our website. In fact, if you go to marfooglenews.com, you'll see it's very easy to navigate. Just look for today's thumbnail, On Standby, and that's, of course, talking about Russia putting their missiles on ready. And then, of course, once you get there, you will see that we have every single article, every single tweet, every single video right there at your fingertips. That way you know exactly where these documents are coming from, and you have access to them later. We also archive all of our transcripts. It's something that someone on Twitter, basically, I tweeted something about this video of two sons, and this person essentially says, you know, I've messaged you before, and you're just now talking about it. I smell a rat. It was kind of unnecessary, and I didn't understand that because anybody that watches this show knows we've talked about it and showed it and shown plenty of videos here on this channel about it. So my point is, if you ever think that we have not talked about something, because I'm pretty sure we've talked about pretty much everything, go up to that corner bar and go to the search, and you will actually find that you can search something like Two Sun Phenomenon, and you'll find all of the shows that we have had that on the show. So it's very useful in that, right? You can actually search very specific subjects like Bigfoot. In fact, if you type in Bigfoot, you'll find all the shows that we had Bigfoot callers, or we were talking about stories in mainstream media. Either way, it's very useful. Make sure to use it. It takes a lot of time. Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing today?
Hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So we have a ton here. Now, obviously, Prince William is in the elites, that is for sure. In fact, the royal family are probably one of the most elite families out there. Some think, though, that they are not as high as some of the people that are kind of in the dark, but the royals are probably a lot higher than some of the multi-billionaires or trillionaires out there because they are part of this actual bloodline. They're part of the bloodline of elites, right? Well, he may have just showed his cards a little bit, or showed the elites cards here, because he said something, a very specific quote. But let me get right into it. It says, Prince William slams the billionaires' space race and says that it should focus on fixing Earth's problems first. In stunning intervention hours after Amazon chief Jeff Bezos sent Star Trek's William Shatner into orbit. Now, if you saw, of course, William Shatner being 90, I had the question, like, how are they sending a 90-year-old into space? A lot of people apparently had the same question because they were already putting out articles like, this is why they had no worries about William Shatner going into space. They had some reason. It actually kind of seemed like some BS. So, because, if you hit that many G-forces, somebody at 90 years old, you would think that would be an extreme liability. But I guess if we did lose William Shatner that way, that would be kind of the way that you would expect somebody like him to go. Either way, of course, they sent him to space, supposedly. And it says, the Duke of Cambridge, 39, appeared to rebuke the billionaire's space race as he spoke about the current issues facing the climate during the interview with BBC's newscast Adam Fleming at Kensington Palace. It says that the Duke's intervention came just hours after Star Trek's William Shatner became the oldest person in space at the age of 90, following a journey aboard Amazon tycoon Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin New Shepard rocket. It says it also comes just days after SpaceX founder Elon Musk, whose ambitious plans involve colonizing Mars, revealed would now like to build Tesla cars on the red planet. He does troll people. By the way, Dex, I didn't see the part separate than this article. I did not see the part about him trying to build or wanting to build Teslas on Mars. Kind of corny, right?
Yeah, that is. But yeah, sounds like a troll to me.
So there's a quote here, and we'll talk about this here in 1 second. Let me switch earphones, though. I got a tinny thing here. It is a live show, so keep that in mind. All right, let's get this switched up. All right, that's much better. All right, so it says in his interview about climate, and you can't even say this stuff anymore, ahead of its inaugural Earthshot Prize Awards, the Duke said, "We need some of the world's greatest brains and minds fixed on trying to repair this planet, not trying to find the next place to go and live." Dex, do you want to talk about the first thing you thought when you saw that?
Well, yeah. So, obviously he's in the know. He's an elite. So he's clearly saying that what he knows the other side is doing is trying to get off planet. And we've been saying this for a while. It's not just about exploration, but there's a dire need to colonize or move people off the planet. And it seems to me like he's actually admitting that in some sense.
So if you haven't seen a lot of this that we have covered in the last 3 years, or if you're new to the channel, we've covered a lot of the weird little stories as far as why are they doing all of these? Why is there a paper trail of billionaires basically setting up to go to space? Why is China making a miles-long structure in space? Why are they sending DNA samples to the moon and putting them deep into mountaintops? Why are they taking whole navies, and putting them inside of mountain bunkers? Really weird stuff has been going on. Of course, multiple countries all of a sudden are in this space race right when it was really weird, because there was about a week where there was a lot of weird stuff that happened in 2017 or 2018. And then all of a sudden, all of these countries went from nobody cared about space to all of a sudden space was the only thing on people's minds. It is the country, right? They sent a satellite or a lander or something. It ended up crashing. They've now have multiple countries actually trying to get to the moon. Why? So this has always perplexed me. You guys know that I've asked a lot of questions about this, and I don't think we're going to find out the answer until it's too late. I have a pretty solid guess, because guess what? It's very, very obvious what is going on. It's not put out there, but I mean, it's funny because it is put out there, but then it's not. Elon Musk is saying that we are going to be living on Mars. He says he wants to have so many people there by the year 20-something and then 2030. And he wants to have it to where he at least gets 1 million people there. Are those 1 million people the chosen ones? Are those the ones that are going to survive and repopulate the human race on Mars? Now, this sounds crazy, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, whoa, this sounds like science fiction. So does the year 2019, 2020, and now in 2021. Everything sounds like science fiction right now because guess what? Fact is stranger than fiction, and that's for sure. If you guys agree, let me know.
Let's not forget Asgardia, too.
I'm thankful. Okay, so if you don't know what Asgardia is, all of these elites are essentially they're starting a structure, a government structure in space, and they have actually done a ton in actual. That's what I actually meant by paper trails. And sorry, you guys, I'm on cold medication and all sorts of other stuff. Not feeling well again. Yeah, it's like every single day. For the last month, I've had something going on. It's just really weird. Anyways, so Asgardia has been set up, and for the regular people, it looks like this kind of joke thing. Like if you see, you can name a star, and this is how I compared it before. Because if you name a star, you can pay $15 or you can pay $25, and you can name some far off star that hasn't been named yet, right? It's kind of like that for regular people. With Asgardia, anybody can be a citizen. You pay a little fee, and they send you a certificate saying that you're a citizen of Asgardia. But the elites in this Asgardia group are not doing. They don't get a little, plaque. They're actually putting millions of dollars into the plans for a future space government. This is a real thing that is happening right now. So why? Another thing that I just somebody pointed out to me is the evacuation of New York drill that they did just a few months ago. There's a lot of stuff lining up, by the way, as far as meteors. We're going to talk about meteors too. More meteor news. It seems now, again, over the last 4 years, sightings in every group, greater than 10, greater than 20, greater than 50, greater than 100, all have quadrupled. That's going to end up tying into this as well. But as far as the space race and everything else, it seems like it's a space race to get off of Earth because something is going down, something serious. Some say it's climate, some say it's pole shift, some say it's a hole in our ozone. Whatever it is, I do believe that there is a real impending thing there. And that's not to cause doom or anything. It's just to let you guys know, look at the actions. All of a sudden, every single world government said, I agree. Every single world government. And the only 5 that went against what they were saying, those leaders are not around anymore. They're literally not here on Earth. They are with our Heavenly Father. All of these countries just all of a sudden agreed to do all of the same thing. Now, you would say, well, that's because we're all facing this thing. Well, just like us here in the United States and in every other country, there is a big divide. There's a big debate, and half of the people are not so, worried about it, and half are. Well, I'm guaranteeing you that the governments would be the same way, and way more governments would be pushing back if there wasn't something bigger here. And who knows, maybe the something bigger is that it could, mutate 5 times, and they know what that 5th mutation is, and it will wipe us all out. Either way, we're not getting the full story. We're not getting the full story no matter what. So lots of crazy stuff here. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about that quote? A lot of people, I think, that are partially asleep just say, oh, well, he's just saying, fix the planet's problems here first. I think that was a very specific nod there, saying we need some of the world's greatest brains and minds fixed on trying to repair this planet, not trying to find the next place to go and live. He's saying we need the smartest people on Earth to try to fix this before we all we lose Earth. That's what it sounds like to me. What does it sound like to you? Let me know in the comments below. Desiree Negron, thank you so much for your massive support. We are independent. Thank you guys, for everybody that supports the show. Again, we do not get help from channel networks. We don't have one. We don't have a multi-billion-dollar company behind us. We have the Foogle fam. Thank you, everybody that has supported us through everything we've gone through. Really appreciate it. Anybody new, make sure to welcome into the fam. Thank you, everybody, and I appreciate all of your time. Again, I do find that all of your time is valuable, and thank you for spending it with us. Dad and Bo's Toy Show says we don't have the technology to leave lower Earth orbit. Again, that is great opinions. I love people having nice discussions down there. As long as you're not telling other people they're idiots and you want to talk about that, go ahead. Cloaked Cloud, trademark, thank you for your support as well. And then Christopher Laval. By the way, Dad and Bo's Toy Show, you have a good point. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. Who knows what's really happening? I would love to know the real answer. What I do know, though, is they're at least, they're not making it look like it. They're not talking about it publicly, and they're lining things up to do something big. What do you think about, lower Earth orbit? In your opinion, could China put a miles-long structure up in lower Earth orbit and actually have it float up there, right? Or would it have to have rockets pushing it up to keep it up there? Or do you think that that's complete BS? Either way, it's happening, or at least that's what sources are saying in every country. And then price pinch, global economy caught in the perfect storm. It says from beef bowls, it says the rebound as CV restrictions are eased as exposed supply chain shortages with firms scrambling for workers, ships, and even fuel to power factories, threatening the fledgling economic recovery. It says Britain's biggest chicken producer said that the country's 20-year cheap food binge is ending and food price inflation could hit double digits. By the way, double digits is absolutely ginormous. If you know, if you have followed the entire inflation over the last 3 or 4 years, it has just gotten insane. Also, shrinkflation, which we've talked about as well. Stuff getting more expensive and the actual product is getting smaller. They reduce the ounces. You'll see the cereal boxes, a lot more cardboard, a lot less cereal, and then, of course, way higher prices. It says the days when you could feed a family of 4 with a 3-pound, $4 chicken are coming to an end, Ranjit Singh Boparn, owner of the Two Sisters Group, said. It says shortages of warehouse workers, truckers, and butchers as the world's 5th largest economy deals with Brexit, as well as CV, is exacerbating strains being felt globally by international business. Okay, so Dex, you found something about IKEA. It says IKEA is leasing more ships, buying containers, and rerouting goods as the world's largest furniture brand seeks to mitigate a perfect storm of disruptions. It says John Abramson, chief executive at IKEA, told Reuters that IKEA warns supply chain disruptions likely to last until 2022. Dex, did I not call this a month ago? And I told you what, and I wasn't kidding. Now there's proof to that. If you watched the shows a month ago, I went in and this employee probably wasn't supposed to show me. He flipped his computer screen around and he goes, actually, no, dude, it's really weird. It says that we're not getting anything until August. And I said, August is last month. This was then in September, early in September. And I say, August was last month. You mean September? And he goes, no, August of 2022. That was no joke. I told you that. I literally told you guys that last month, a month ago. And now there's proof of it. So, and I'm not trying to say, I told you so, but we do like to back up when we say something and it is accurate. And people, a lot of people commented like, oh, BS, it's probably a glitch or something. When we do get it right, we want to make sure that you guys know we don't lie to you. We try to back up everything that we say so you're getting solid information. There's a lot of information we have right now we are not telling you because we don't want to scare people, and also we don't want it to be wrong. If it's wrong, we could cause damage. We could We could have people end up selling their car or something. I mean, like, there's some crazy stuff out there. We want to make sure that we can confirm things before freaking people out. I think that overall, we try to make sure that people are being responsible, that are prepping for potential disasters. Myself and many others, including most of you, believe that we are at a precipice right now, both biblical and all. I'll talk about it later. A man was swallowed by a humpback whale, for gosh sakes. That's straight up Jonah out of the Bible. So if it's almost like the Bible is coming true chapter by chapter. And then Sodom and Gomorrah, they actually found a town that had the dirt or the dust turned to diamonds after a meteor hit. They say basically that it very well explains the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and it wiped they found salt pillars. And then, of course, Noah's Ark, all of that. Recently, more, and they found chariots at the bottom of where it was a sea. So, actually, at the bottom of the water, they found chariot wheels. So, like where, he split the water. I mean, like, crazy stuff. So, just watch. There's going to be more. And even if you're not a believer, man, it's getting crazy. It says John Abrams. Go ahead. Hey,
Adam, the other interesting thing about this, and you'll probably get to it in a minute, but they mentioned something about China specifically being where I think a quarter of their products were made, which I thought was odd. It was only a quarter. I thought it would have been much more. But the more I think about it, because they say North America is the one that's been hit the hardest by IKEA, I imagine that if they're making products in Europe, they're probably keeping them there and not shipping them, right? Because it costs a lot to ship. And if they're going to ship it from anywhere, they're going to ship it from China. So I bet what they do is make most of what's in North America in China and ship it over. And that explains why we're having the shortage, right?
Yeah, so us, especially on the West Coast here, a month ago, I went in and I was baffled. It was just like 3 weeks after the store was pretty good. But as you know, IKEA, if you know what IKEA is, it's Swedish furniture. It's a huge warehouse. They have many fake rooms set up with all the decorations, and pretty much everything in these fake living rooms has a tag on it. It's the ultimate furniture store. The one catch, though, is a lot of the stuff is really great priced. The catch is, though, that you have to build it yourself. Anything. If it's a couch, you have to put it together. If literally everything you have to build yourself. There's very few things that you don't have to build yourself. But it's cheaper and it's easier to move. It comes in multiple boxes. You can, pack it in a car. In fact, their commercial forever has been that you could pack the top of a Vita Bug and go home and decorate your house, right? But when I saw that everything was temporarily unavailable, it was unbelievable. It wasn't just a few things. It wasn't just one of something. For instance, glass display cases like this. I just could not believe. I've never seen more than one or two out. Every single one. There was not a single one. All 30 different models, sizes, colors, everything was out. There was not one. Not a single choice. Tables, chairs, couches, you name it, it was out, and everyone had a tag. You're usually supposed to walk around the warehouse of these rooms, furnished rooms, and then you write down the numbers. There was numbers on nothing because they were out. So you may not care about IKEA, but this is a sign of way bigger things to come. We're talking about until next year. We're going to see a whole year of just nothing. That also may mean that it is way bigger than we think. Are we about to go to conflict with China? Don't know. It says in the United States, President JB on Wednesday urged the port of Los Angeles to basically stay open for 24 hours. We're going to talk about that here in 2 seconds. In fact, let's see here. It says Biden said the Port of Los Angeles would join the Port of Long Beach in working around the clock to unload about 500,000 containers, while Walmart, Target, and other big retailers would expand overnight operations to help out. It says, even in Japan, where weak growth has meant prices of many things as well as wages have not risen much in decades, consumers and businesses are facing a price shock for basics such as coffee and beef bowls. Japan's core consumer inflation stopped falling in August, snapping a 12-month deflationary spell. Economists and policymakers expect to see recent price rises reflected in data over the coming months. It says, with central bankers on high alert and inflation in Spain, Ireland, and Sweden hitting 13-year highs, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde repeated that the upswing in Europe is seen as temporary and said that there was no signs of it becoming embedded in wages. So, first of all, there's always these spin artists that are supposed to make everybody feel better about things. They're supposed to make you think that, hey, everything is going to get better. Hopefully it does. What do you think? Let me know in the chat or in the comments down below. Speaking of which, Cloaked Cloud, thank you so much again for your support. And then over on DLive, thank you. R15 says, Foogle fam, stay prepped and keep up the news. Marf and Dex, I'll catch a replay. Hey, R15, thank you so much, and I appreciate your support. Jacktronics, Angela1609, Cran0, Stormy7572, thank you for the lemons. And then, of course, I Love Jesus Forever. Thank you so much for your support over there. Release the Quacken. Haven't seen you in a minute. Nice to have you here. And then Rabbit111, Bear Claws, and Mary Double X. Thank you so much for being here. Cloud Pharrell, it's nice to see you as well. And then what's her name? 45 and Mrs. H. Thank you, everybody. By the way, Release the Quacken, thanks for popping in and actually giving out Marfia badges over there. And then Battleborn111, thank you, Adam Dex Mods, and Defrustrated. Thank you, you guys. All right, so back to craziness. We've talked about Facebook a lot lately, and unfortunately, Facebook has such a huge influence on this planet. Now, if you're like me, you don't even have one anymore, and you're not addicted to it. But a lot of people here I do know that are, because we used to have a group until it just had so many problems, and then I guess twice they said suspended the actual group. It wasn't even for things that we did. It was for things that people were sharing in the group. So I just really got tired with the whole Facebook thing. Our mods in Facebook got tired with, people arguing back and forth. I mean, people get nasty on Facebook. Just so you know, I mean, you guys probably know if you're still on Facebook, then you'll get nasty with friends and family. If you make a post, it's like, what kind of planet is this where you have to worry about every single post you do, people unfriending you? And when they unfriend you on Facebook, I mean, they're kind of doing it in real life too, because when those people do that, it's like, why even keep contact with them at that point, if they're extended friends, like, just let them go then. If they want to unfriend you over your opinions, those aren't friends that you need. Honestly, people getting triggered is just absolutely absurd right now. And if you are easily triggered, then, this may not be the show for you, because we are going to change opinions, and we're going to go over stuff that may offend. But that's the whole spirit of this, is that we can all get along here. We can be friendly in the chat, even if there's something that you just vehemently just hate, and somebody's saying, I believe this, and I'm a big believer, and I love it all day, every day, and this is what I believe, and I believed it my whole life, and in your mind, you're going, this person's completely asleep. You can still be nice to that person. We can still find something that, you guys do agree on, because that's honestly what we need to do. We're divided, and it's got to start somewhere, and it's going to start in my chat, if anywhere, because I hope that all of you guys are participating. In return, what you get is a place you can come for 2 hours a day or 2 hours, 5 days a week, and actually hang out and be treated like a person instead of being treated like a jerk for what you believe. And then in return, give that to somebody else. Let them believe what they want to believe for just 2 hours. Because you know what? Nobody really can in real life. Nobody can talk anymore. Nobody can say anything. You get canceled. You have friends unfriend you. It's just absurd. And guess what? It's going to get worse because Facebook is building an AI that sees, hears, and understands everything we do. Are you still on Facebook after that headline? Facebook wants to build an artificial intelligence that learns to understand the world like humans by watching our every move. And I know that people are already thinking like, oh, I don't do anything wrong. I'm not a criminal, so I don't care if they watch. What if they end up, what if there's mistakes made and they end up using your Facebook against you in a court of law or something and end up using your likes or your profile? What if they actually, what if they find somebody that has done 6 murders or something and they have a profile for the killer and your likes and your interests match that? And then all of a sudden you've got SWAT knocking down your door. That's why people should have privacy, because there's mistakes made, and the mistakes are made by humans. Now that you're adding this in prematurely, we're not in any some sort of crazy place here. Because guess what? As far as the AI level of this stuff, as far as I think the social media companies have better AI than the actual government does. Explained that in a short just recently. It says that the tech giant has announced plans to teach AI to understand and interact with the world like we do in first person, and it hopes to do this by using video and audio from augmented reality glasses like its new high-tech Ray-Bans. Dex!
Look, I have always said that when you look at these tech giants, you have to look for the hidden desire, what they're trying to do with the technology. Like, you may think I'm getting something that's good for me, but ultimately there's something underneath the covers that they're trying to do. I mean, just when Facebook got started, oh, it was great. I could connect with my friends, my old high school friends, whatever. But it's really, oh, let's collect as much information. Let's get you addicted to create all this. So just your participation, even if you don't do anything wrong, your participation is helping create and foster that engine. And well, now here we have these great things, these augmented reality glasses, which are going to be cool and fun, and you can put them on and you can look around. But ultimately, what is it they want to do? They want to train their AI engines because you're wearing the glasses all day. You put them on your head and you're filling the AI machine with information so that it can get smarter. By putting those on, you're helping that system. Even though you may be getting something out of it, you're really doing something else.
Dex, me and you talked about this on a show like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when they announced the Ray-Bans, and we saw that little tiny icon in the corner that said powered by Facebook. And I went on kind of a rant. I said, why? Now you're going to pay. People are going to beg for this. I even said people are going to pre-order this. People are going to be, chomping at the bit. And now there's actual proof and a statement from Facebook saying that they're going to use this to make AI. And I literally said this. Does anybody remember that conversation about 3 weeks ago? It's so bad though. It's not. I'm not a genius. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a psychic. It's so predictable now. They are doing it so obviously, but saying they're not. It's not like the thing is all you need is to just tune out from the brainwashing. What they're doing, how they brainwash you, is they just tell you no, it's not. I don't know if you've ever dealt with a human being, like an actual friend, that you'll know that they've done something. You could have video of them doing something. You'll have video of them stealing from you. Video of them looking up into the camera and stealing into, getting into your car and taking your money out. And they will tell you right to your face that they didn't do it. And they've told you and told you and told you. They will tell you 30 times until you start to go, maybe it was somebody else. And it doesn't have to be a car theft or something like that, but I'm talking about something, a person that can tell you just no enough times where you actually start doubting yourself. It's a lot easier when you have 50 people saying you're crazy. No, 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 no. That's not what it is. This isn't what's happening. And you have enough people doing it, and then enough people saying it. It seems like you don't want to be the one that sticks out and says, no, 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 but I saw it with my own eyes. Well, if you do that, then everybody's going, oh, you're a racist. You're this, you're that. What do you mean? I heard the tape with my own eyes. I mean, I saw it. They kept turning on the sound and saying these weird things like, oh, if you have to use your chairs to defend yourself, then do it. Come on. We didn't have a damn plan for the whole frickin' cabinet. Come on. People are just dumb. We have to wake up out of the brainwashing. AI is coming. AI is really, this is why Elon Musk said that this is the biggest threat. This is one of the biggest threats out there, and the reason why it's going to affect us all because it's going to be social media, internet, and the entire way we communicate. People aren't going to communicate in person very soon. You're talking about they want people to be on VR. There's a reason why Facebook invested in Oculus. Right now, not everybody's not tuning in. But trust me, the technology is getting to the point, and then once it matches up with these neural links, boom, it's done. When you actually see the video game out of your head, when you don't have to put goggles on, that's when it really gets extreme. And it's happening. It's really going to happen. Richard Mitchell, what is going on? Swamp Justice, Carla Max. We've got For Glory of the Christ. Be Peculiar. Let's see here. The Renz 008 says Facebook was created by the government. Social network movie. History is all a lie. By the way, LifeLog ended 2004, same month or the couple days after something started. So LifeLog was a DARPA project. Karen from Columbus, thank you. Bold the Coffee. Hey, how are you doing here? We've got Milo Wilms. And if you don't believe that, look it up. Again, there's a lot of people that their opinion is that it's just kind of a coincidence that one ended and it had the exact definition of something that kept track of your likes, interests, your family photos, your videos, everything, all in one place. Mark C, Face the Sky, Android Architect. Yes, I love that. Android Architect says LifeLog never ended. No, it did not. It just became one of the most powerful companies in the world. And the owner gets to go, kiteboarding or something and try to grab onto the devil horns. Milo is professional hacks over 37 years. Marf Champ. What is going on? Lisa R. Hall, thank you for being here. Thank you for modding. I appreciate you. By the way, let's get a Lisa in the chat. Lisa is an amazing woman. She has been here almost every show for 3 years. She is one of the sweetest women you will ever meet. She is literally an angel on earth. Make sure to say what's up to Lisa. And then Reality Reset. Dale Val. Let's see here. We got Jacktronic, Stormblade X69. We've got Dex J in the chat. Joe A. Who's that Dex J guy? Huh. One of those.
Oh, multitasking.
Dex J. What a dumb name. Oh. Hey, Dex. Sorry. I thought it was a different Dex.
Yeah, it's that other Dex.
The phone book guy. Anyways, so Dex, I'm going to have you explain this one. This is really weird, and again, I think differently than you. You're more like, oh, this is, more tax haven. I think this is really weird. I think this is like apocalyptic for whatever reason. What is going on with this?
Yeah, so apparently South Dakota has now become, I guess, the haven for the elite, the rich. Something like $500 billion has been sheltered in South Dakota now. There's actually no one in South Dakota. that's in the Bloomberg's billionaire index list, but it shelters some $500 billion of wealth in its trusts. So, sure, you can say this is just tax evasion, but usually, these rich people who have lots and lots of money don't just stick money away. They tend to use that money to make more money, right? They tend to, you've never seen a rich person that just sat on their cash. They typically take their cash and they make more cash from it by creating jobs, building businesses, investing in other things, right? But why all of a sudden are we seeing a lot of money being stashed away? And this may or may not be that, but it very well could be. And I think, Adam, that's where you were going when you heard this story was, why are the elite preparing, or what are they preparing for? Are they holding this money back? Are they hiding this money? Do they know a rainy day's on the horizon?
What? But okay, but is this gold? Is it cash? Do they have their physical cash there, or is it a digital numbers here?
These are trusts, so they can actually own anything. So they could put 10 yachts in a trust, stick it in South Dakota, and nobody knows about it.
Okay,
right? It's hiding there.
All right, that's scary. Okay, Dex, how do you not see that if there's nobody there that's rich, but for some reason they're putting all their money there? That says to me, like, hello, the coasts are going to get screwed up. Or maybe South Dakota is so low on an attack list that, if we were to get, nuked or something, that South Dakota would be one of the safest place. Isn't I guess let's ask the people in the chat, because I'm sure there's a huge amount of people that have either been to South Dakota, or probably not a huge number, but I have a family in Sioux City or Sioux Falls. That's where that picture was. I wonder, what is this like? I've never been there in person. Is it mountains? What is it like, folks? Like, what is the top topography or the geography of the area? Does anybody know? Buzz says there's nukes there. That would actually make it a target, so could be very incorrect on that one. Nebraska is the safest, says Android Architect. Ginny Riddle says South Dakota.
North Dakota had more of the nukes.
Okay, so North Dakota might have them. I don't know. Survival Living in the house. What's going on? Rip Curl Readiness is in the house. What the heck are you saying? Other people are in the house. You're in the house. I love that you added Rip Curl Readiness. Rip Curl is a great guy. He's very, very smart, common sense, gentle man, in both senses. He's a gentleman and he's a gentle man. Raquel R. It's crazy how fast constantly be aware of events around of us. Put together and get ahead of it. You can get ahead of it if you just pay attention to the sign. I mean, we're not connecting dots that are so crazy. This is happening, and it's very obvious what's happening. The problem is most people don't look at 40 articles a day, and they're not connecting anything. They're not connecting absolutely anything, and there is a ton of coincidences that they're so, like, what are the odds in a million that it's so clear what is actually happening that you don't need a crystal ball. People, get ready right now. Share your friends and family. Get them over here to Marfoogle News. Bones, North Dakota has way more due to distance over the North Pole. Thanks, Bones, for putting out the EMP shield thing out there. Again, good way to protect yourself. Mainstream hypnotism for the masses. We are already dead, says Tears for Beers. Fear porn is in the house. What is going on? Best screen name ever here. So if all the rich elite went New Zealand bunkers because they know. Oh, I missed the rest of that. I actually wanted to see that. The smart guy down there. Joe A. Ramish Micro says, I have been sharing the EMP. Thank you. One on B. GeoHuff. Save yourself, sheeple. Adam notices his mod and friend change his name 4 months after he does it. You know, Rip Curl doesn't pop in every day, and unfortunately, there's 5,000 names here. But yeah, thanks for calling that out. Rip Curl's a good friend of mine, but again, there's too much to keep track of. I also have 4 kids, and yeah, they take up a little bit of my time. Chad Conley, By the way, I can only see about 4 letters of your screen names. I have to click on each one just to see them, just so you guys know. Mimi's Mimi, and then Christy Wolf, Frank Brown, thank you guys. Nobody, Whitetail7, Pam Beth, Echo in the Forest, SGT11B, Rolling Hills in South Dakota, says nice and quiet. Star Wolf, we are all doomed for sure. I wouldn't say doomed. I would say that, people need to get ready. If you're ready, then a lot of things will go a whole lot smoother. What do you think about this money being stashed in South Dakota? If you have a reason why, put it in the comments down below. Make sure to comment after the show and make sure to like. If you have sat for 2 hours in this show or watch the replay and you don't press that like button, I would say that's like, come on. There's 50,000 people that watch every day, and usually about, 5% of you guys end up pressing that like button. We've never had a solid experiment to see if everybody did it, would it actually help us reach new people? Because the only way we reach new people is you guys sharing our stuff. All right, Dex, before we talk about the Facebook's secret blacklist of dangerous individuals and organizations, I do want to remind you that, of course, you can save if you do want to prep. Try to do it through us because, 1, you will actually get a discount, and 2, you'll be helping support your favorite channel. Again, I would highly suggest knowing what the ecosystem of YouTube is. If it's not us, if you have other YouTube channels that you want to support, make sure to look at their affiliates. If it's something that you actually need and care about, or something that you were going to purchase anyways, make sure to do it through your favorite YouTuber, whether that be Alaska Prepper or Jacob Israel or Global Witness or any of the great channels out there. Make sure to look at their affiliates and see, is that something I need? As far as the essentials of life, this is by My Patriot Supply. They have everything. It's a one-stop shop. If you need battery banks, if you need, of course, water filtration, air purification, survival gear, survival books, of course, food. They have long-term shelf life food that is really good, really tasty. I tasted 4 companies, and this is the one I like the best. At this point, we do, we're telling you, there's enough out there that, I don't have to tell you why you need this. There's iodine pills to emergency radios. There's everything there. What happens is when you go over there, they end up giving a commission of any sale, and they give you a discount. So it works out, and it's a win-win for everybody. We send you over to them, and then they're thankful for that, so they end up helping us financially. That helps us run our show, and that helps us expand. We eventually want to have a full staff here. So again, you guys are part of the whole growth, from me doing this in my car to me, of course, having now Dex as a full-time partner. So again, thank you guys for helping us grow. I appreciate it. marfugglenews.com/prep. If you want to help support in other ways, you can go to the website, marfugglenews.com, and on the right, there are all of our affiliates and different links to end up donating to the show. All right, let's see here. This blacklist, Dex, how dangerous are we talking about? Are we talking about?
So this is the list, one of the lists that everybody has been wanting to see, and Facebook had been debating whether or not they should put it out. Of course, they said they didn't want to begin with, and they haven't for a long time. But then, of course, the rest of the public says, well, if we don't know who we can and can't talk about on Facebook, but you're going to hold us against that, so you should at least tell us what, who we can or cannot be associated with. But apparently this list has come out. I don't know if they actually released it or if it's just gotten its way out into the public finally. But this, I actually scoured through it. It's about 100 pages. There's a lot in there. Of course, it's like majority a bunch of T groups that you would expect from, Middle Eastern countries and et cetera. But there's also groups here in America. Some you would expect, some you wouldn't expect, or some you would expect, some you would expect, but probably don't think should be on there, right? Or you may not, just depending on your personal beliefs, right? And there's individuals. So it's groups, there's individuals, there's criminals, criminal gangs, and T groups on that. And it's a pretty extensive list. It's actually linked in the article, folks. If you want to go read it yourself, you can click the link that's in this article to let you see all of those groups.
So, and by the way, there's probably more information coming out. There was a bunch of different documents that have said to have been leaked just yesterday morning. I believe that there's a lot of rumors going around that, of course, somebody hacked and that there's more whistleblowing going on. I kind of I hope that Jacob Israel's right where he says that, a lot of these rotten people will end up, getting shown to everyone that, all of them will be exposed. That's wishful thinking. But I would still like to stay positive on that. They also, I believe I believe it's almost biblical for some of the bad names to come out before everything goes down, right? And then we have Andrew McKee. Thank you so much. Stephen Click says South Dakota is mostly a massive field except for the Badlands and the Black Hills where Mount Rushmore is. Stephen Click, like I said, I've never been there. That is, when I think of the Dakotas, I think of course, Mount Rushmore, and then I kind of think of mountains. So I did not know that. I think of Kansas as fields. Marie Shelvin, thank you for your support. Thank you for massive support of Marfoogle News. I appreciate you. I know Dex does as well. EOD Vet says, I grew up in South Dakota. Slight mountains on western size. Black Hills. The rest is rolling hills, pastures, and farmland. Okay, so I believe you guys now at 2 have confirmed it. Elizabeth Cabral says, love to you both. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you, and thank you. Faith, thank you for subscribing, and what a beautiful screen name there. Hopefully you keep it as well. And then over on DLive, thank you, everybody that has popped in just now. Pearl, thank you so much for your support. What's under Mount Rushmore Black Hills? Probably missiles, I would guess. Big Shot Ben says, Marf, the Foogle be with you. Couldn't live without my Foogle fam. Love you all, says Queen BTP. Steve Webb, Queen BTP, that's very awesome. I'm glad you found a lot of really awesome people here. Angela 1609, Jacktronics. Of course, we've got JFN57 says South Dakota has no capital gains, estate, and income tax. That makes sense. So a financial angle there. And then Crop Duster and Rabbit 111 and Iberian Girl. Thanks everybody for popping in. So check out that list. Very alarming names on there. Well, I guess normal names you wouldn't think would be on there. Kind of freaky. And
yeah,
then,
I went through it, and it was, for example, like I couldn't find AJ. I figured he would be there, and I couldn't find him. Maybe I didn't see it because you couldn't search it, right? Because it's a photograph. But then other names like Gavin, which you would, I don't want to say his last name, but you probably know who I'm talking about. He is on that list, and
like
along
Guinness
with
beer,
the people that are in that. Yeah, exactly.
Mick.
So he's on that list, but I didn't see AJ. So just some anomalies there, but some other things you would expect, but you probably don't think they necessarily
probably because
need to be there too.
They don't care about AJ anymore because they already knocked him off the list. You know what I mean? Like they're people they actually worry about. They don't, for whatever reason. I don't think they worry about him so much because they've already taken him off of everything, and he still does make an impact, but it's nothing compared to what it was. He was making a giant impact before he got knocked off of everything. I mean, even his grassroots campaign back in the early 2000s. That's why I'm here today, is because of the people handing me DVD videos. He had an army. The whole "you are the resistance," that was incredibly genius. You have to give him that. He had people volunteering to do stuff. I mean, he was practically a politician. He had people canvassing for him all over the country. At least, I mean, they were doing it here. I'm assuming they were doing it in other states. I know he's not from here. There were people like official. It looked like, I almost remember like uniforms, like we're AJ's dancers or something. I don't know what he called them. Did a meteor explode over New Hampshire? That may explain the boom. So people are still asking questions. And what's funny, this is from the Seattle Times. This is from my local paper here. And it's actually, a lot of people are still questioning this. This loud boom, it was different than a lot of the other ones because it actually shook so hard that they thought it was an earthquake. A ton of people still don't understand why there was no seismic activity. It was a giant boom, and the really crazy part is that this was felt in 40 cities. Imagine that. Not one city, but 40 cities. That's the entire, that's a whole state hearing and seeing something and feeling it. That has to be a meteor, right? I mean, Dex, what else would be that loud and that broad? Some people are saying underground stuff, but you wouldn't feel it in, 40 states. Or would it be pole shift or some sort of
it would have
magma?
it'd have to be unexplained if it's not a meteor. It has to be unexplained because I don't know how else we could. I even think just a regular sonic boom from a plane probably wouldn't be that bad. It would be similar, like it would probably have a similar, sound and reverberation and maybe a little bit of feeling, but it wouldn't be as big and strong as that across so many different areas, right? I don't know.
And it would have
it
to
just
loop.
seems to me it's either unexplained or it's a meteor.
Well, and it would have to like loop around and like they said, they at least counted 40 different cities. And, most cities you have to drive. You have to, you're talking a huge area. This wasn't just 2 towns or something. This was 40 cities felt this boom. So something bigger is going on here. My theory, and I've looked at all of the obvious stuff here, and I think that something bigger is going on here. As I say that, there was a big boom. I don't know if you heard that. You can rewind it if you want. That like, when you get startled, you're like, I was on a roller coaster where your stomach goes up. Anyways, you'll get a kick out of that if you rewind that several times, but do it after the show. Marie Shelvin, thank you so much for your support there. VSticks 700. It says the theories lit up the internet. An earthquake must have caused a prolonged boom that shook homes Sunday morning in New Hampshire and at least one neighboring state. It says some hypothesize that the puzzling disturbance might have been the sound of an aircraft breaking the sound barrier. Both scenarios were quickly discounted. Now, some meteorologists think that they can explain the mystery. Satellite imagery suggests that a meteor may have exploded in the atmosphere over New Hampshire, according to those meteorologists who say that the explanation is not all that far out. This time of the year, they pointed out, is known for intense meteor showers, the Draconoids that peaked 2 days earlier, and the Orionids that continue until November. The fireballs that explode in a bright terminal flash, often with visible fragmentation, are known as bolides, according to the American Meteor Society. It says, quote, sure enough, there was a little blip there right around the time that folks started calling and reporting about the sound. Greg Cornwell, a meteorologist for the National Weather Service in Gray, Maine, the forecast for New Hampshire, said on Tuesday. Cornwell said that the blip was detected by a geostationary weather satellite known as GOES-16 or GOES-16. It's kind of a creepy one. How about you go 18 there, creeper? And then it says that was used by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and NASA. He and his colleagues reviewed and satellite feed from Sunday morning. On it, a blue dot flashed over southern New Hampshire around 11:21 a.m. It says, quote, it wasn't until the next morning when we were like, well, I wonder what that cause was. It says, he said that there was a lot of discussion from the public. The satellite has an advanced system for detecting lightning, but there was no thunderstorms in the area Sunday morning. Now there have been cases where these sort of exploding fireball or bolides will cause a false positive, he said. It showed up in the data and it's kind of a hunch. So they're saying that these weather things can actually, as a kind of a glitch of it, or it picks up something off of it and it ends up triggering something on the weather satellites. That's actually really useful. So anybody that ends up watching these things, I know that in the Foogle fam, we have people watching all sorts of things from Radar 24, watching the planes and the weird things that are going on there. We have people that are watching the ISS. We have people that are watching the feeds that are coming from NASA live 24/7, videotaping them. So this would be interesting. If you're watching the weather and the radars, look for these blips, because I bet you they're going to go up. Obviously, my opinion, and I say obviously because I've said it for 3 years, I think that we have more coming, and I think that they know about it. They've been tracking these things for years, and of course, and I know that there are people that totally disagree with that there's anything out there, but that's my opinion. And again, my opinion could be wrong in the case that I think that they're holding secrets back, and maybe those secrets are wrong. But I also think that if that's not the case, it's still going to be something bad happening in the future. Really bad. It says, woman nearly hit by meteorite that landed on her pillow as incredible pic shows space rock that smashed through the roof. So you don't really need much with this. This is the hole from the meteorite. And again, this might be lucky in more than one way. Dex, do you know, obviously that was where she was, going to go to sleep. So she would have most likely perished if this hit her.
I think she was actually asleep in the bed and it landed near her.
Oh my gosh. I thought she was got up to the bathroom or something. Wow. So what's crazy is, usually these things are going 20 to 40,000 miles per hour. I wonder if it got slowed down by the time it hit and then hit the roof. Then I'm just surprised it didn't go through the bed. So either way, does she get to keep this thing? This is a question on my mind, because aren't these things worth a lot of money? And if it lands in your house, does that mean you own it? Do you know, Dex?
Wow. I don't know, because I think this happened in Canada, right? So I don't know what the rules are there, but I would like to believe that it's finders keepers, or if they're going to take it, then they ought to compensate for it.
Well, I just remember when we covered that story where the guy had something hit his house or something, he was using it as a doorstop. It was a big old meteor, and he was using it as a doorstop for years and years and years. And then somebody finally told him, he's like, "That's a meteorite. Do you realize that size meteor is worth $800,000 or something?" Or if you know the correct amount, it was maybe a $20,000 meteorite, and he had no idea what was sitting there, and he was using it as a doorstop, and he ended up selling it, I believe. Do you remember how much that meteor was worth? It was something we covered probably a year ago, or maybe a year and a half. Either way, it was a crazy story. I wonder if this woman gets to keep it, because then she would be double lucky. Lucky to be alive, and then lucky to have a chunk like that fall into her bed. Keith and Queen Brad says, "Hey, Adam, it's been a minute, but I want to call in tomorrow about the National Guard in my small town of Idaho. It's beginning. Much love and God bless." Keith and Queen Brad, I hope you actually do call in. We can get you on the show. I would love to hear that. Again, let's do it. And then we have heating bills set to soar as inflation hits energy prices. Don't need to say much here, other than for anybody that hasn't followed what's going on right now, the power companies are actually saying that they are preparing us for our power to go out. So I would have your head on a swivel. Dex, I know that...
Yeah, last time we covered this, we were talking specifically in UK, because they were talking about how they were going to, with the natural gas prices going up so high, that it was equivalent of $300 a barrel if they would switch to oil. So obviously they're going to switch to oil and burn instead of burning natural gas, right? But nonetheless, it was going to skyrocket both gas and the cost of heating in Europe, right? So the assumption was that's going to happen everywhere. Well, now we're talking, and they're saying, hey, expect a 54% increase here in America as the cost of this energy is going to go up. Or heating during the winter.
It's the same place, and I bet you that things are going to pick up in Canada, in Australia, and all over the world. With all of the shipping and all of these disasters going on at once, there's something obviously a whole lot bigger, by the way, And I believe is China the biggest exporter of coal? Is that one of the things that they're an exporter of?
I think they're probably trying to import it now because they're having a shortage of it.
That's right. Maybe I might be off on that then.
I know they're a huge consumer. Let's put it that way. They probably consume a lot more than anybody because that's what most of their power plants, besides the nuclear ones, are. But yeah, but this is a big warning flag because I mean, imagine your heat bill, what it was last year, and just add 54% to it. That's a huge increase. It's not 10%. It's not 5%. It's not 15%. I mean, that's a lot. If you were paying $100 a month, you're gonna be paying $150 a month. You're paying, do the math. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's extremely not good, especially for everybody. We're already struggling. Everybody's having hard times right now financially, so this is not going to be good.
And it's crazy because we're importing all this stuff now. We're having to import oil. We're having to import all these things. We used to not have to do that, right? We had plenty.
I just wonder how bad it's going to get here in Seattle because the prices on everything are just already so high. Like I've said before, where I live right now, for a family of 4, if you make $70,000 a year, that is considered extreme poverty. $70,000 a year. So if you break that up, I want to say it's like, what is that? 70 divided by 12. It's like over $3,000 a month is extreme poverty. If we were living anywhere else, we would do so much better. And people go, well, move. But it's almost impossible when you have family and kids and things tied in. It's just almost impossible. We have thought about getting some sort of RV at the end of our latest lease and going and traveling and just being able to come back when we want and be able to leave and go across country because I think that's the only way that we'll be able to get out of here. Trinity, red pill, blue pill, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Had to drive 30 minutes and live in a large city for emergency surgery on Sunday. I'll call in and do a vid on what's going on. Be prepared and not scared. Never underestimate the power of kindness. So Trinity, somebody made a comment about me not knowing that Rip Curl added readiness to the last name, which, by the way, Trinity, you changed your name so many times that you got stuck with that name. Trinity, red pill, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Again, for me to keep track of all of the creators, we actually helped over 1,000 creators get to 1,000 subscribers or more. So forgive me if all of those creators' names are all jumbled into my brain. I still can't say your screen name now. Trinity, red or blue pill, pop, Kermit, flog me. I almost swore there.
Hey, for the record, though, save yourselves. The person who made that comment commented later saying, "Just playing with you, Adam. Much love." So.
Oh no, he was right. They were right.
No, he was just, but he didn't mean to offend you apparently by what he said.
Oh no, and that didn't offend me. But I really can only see 4 letters. So Rip Curl is Rip C. Trin is Trinity is Trin, but I have to hover over it to see the whole name.
Yeah, so everybody, keep in mind, like what Adam has is a totally different view than what everyone else has, because everybody else is looking at YouTube. You're looking at our streaming system, and it's totally different.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Rip Curl, you could show up more. Thanks. But then they go, well, why don't you check out his channel? Well, it's hard to keep up with everybody, and I do want to. Rip Curl does great videos. If you guys haven't checked out Rip Curl's channel, even his first couple videos were amazing, and I hope he is still creating and doing just as well as he was. I know that he was last. I mean, if you guys remember, Rip Curl had the fire in Oregon. That was really bad. Rip Curl is a soldier, and he's been a soldier for the Foogle fam. He's honestly just an amazing guy. He always is very fair. He's basically been the what do you call them? in all sorts of drama. He has been the voice of reason on both sides, which I appreciate. All right, let's see.
My name is Tom Homan. I'm the former ICE director under President Donald Trump, and I'm here to ask America to wake up. You can protect yourself, and at the same time protect this great nation. The threat of electromagnetic pulse is real, EMP. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's a matter of life and death. I recently partnered with a Midwest company, veteran-owned, that has developed a device you can hook up to your home or your vehicle to protect you against the EMP. I highly encourage you to go to EMPshield.com and research this device. Again, it will protect you, in the long term, protect this great nation. Thank you.
So that was Tom Homan, ICE director, former ICE director. Again, we show that this is a company that is now has worked with DHS, Department of Homeland Security, DOD, and now on the DEMSO team. This is still a small family-owned business. They're making these devices by hand in Kansas. This can protect you against actual EMPs and actual CMEs, a Carrington level event. I hope that people pay attention, because that is going to end up being a very important thing in the next year of news. I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot. We've had several weird things happen. We, of course, have had, in fact, several social media platforms going down. Some say it's in prediction of a mass shutdown. Again, we are going to have a CME, a Carrington level event again. In fact, every 150 years on average, it's been 160. So there's ways you can protect yourself. Again, EMP Shield, they make a different device for all sorts of things. But again, remember, we have pushed EMP Shield to do a contest all the time. This may be their last. In fact, if you go to marfooglenews.com/EMP, you can also end up signing up for the giveaway right now. There is a giveaway. They're giving away 3 devices. They've already given away, just to the Foogle fam, just to our audience, over $10,000 worth of their actual gear. This is Keystone military-tested devices. This is how the governments and militaries, this is how they're protecting themselves. That's what we should be doing. So just remember, right now there is a contest. This is, they even said, they really can't, it's not a good business model just to keep giving stuff away for free. They are doing it because they do care about us, and they really do. Honestly, I've never met good people like this on and off camera, like Andrew, amazing guy, one of the founders. You got to go check all of these guys out, and they are like-minded. Trust me. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, there is also a giveaway right now, so you can end up going to the website. If you have trouble finding it, go to any of the shows after yesterday's, and you'll see down here there is actually a thing here. It says total entries 2,800. Again, there's daily entries, so you can keep trying every single day for 20 days. So again, try to get in there if you don't have the money for this, because this is a professional device. This is an actual way to protect yourself. Then make sure to do this. We pushed very hard for this. And again, this is the 9th or 10th. No, this is the 10th one. The 10th giveaway we've done with them. So,
hey, Adam, even if you're not lucky, right? You're one of those people that never wins anything. If you share it, in other words, there's a share link in that thing, and you share it, and the someone you shared it to wins, you win. I thought that was great. They did that this time for us too. So, in other words, one of the ways to enter the contest is to share the contest. And if the person who wins came from your share, you're going to win an EMP too. That's what it said. I thought that was phenomenal.
Wow, that is cool. So, again, go over to empshield.com/giveaway for the giveaway. You can also go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Go to our website if you have any trouble finding it. Thank you guys for doing that. Again, the requirements are super easy. There's no purchase necessary. It'll basically say if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this. I don't know if this one has Andrew's channel on there, but the last one
it's just us.
That's very cool. Last one, either way, you should go over and support Andrew. Andrew is one of the founders, but he also does YouTube too. Like I said, like-minded. Like, these guys are really cool.
Yeah, he's a bug out channel for those who are looking for him.
Like, this is no joke. That's why there's only a few companies that we would work with, and frankly, that would even put their stamp of approval on the stuff we have to talk about here, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and nobody wants to talk about this stuff. And then, of course, Biden works to expand Port of LA to 24/7 operations. This is something that is obviously, I don't think is going to help, because I think there's a lot more problems than that. Shannon, BOD, 2 Fugel fan members went down there and got videotape of the actual gentleman at the checkpoint saying that they were out of the chassis for the actual containers to leave port. So this isn't all about having drivers or this or that. They said that they're telling, well, I bet you they're telling every single person there something different. Sounds like some bullshit to me, but what do you think? Of course, he's doing this probably for approval numbers here. It says, with the International Monetary Fund citing supply chain problems as a major factor in cutting global growth projections, the White House is scrambling to address some of the sources of the problem at U.S. ports. Can you solve the other one, like China running the port? Our adversary? Our adversary. That means enemy, Joe. That means enemy. Enemy. Me, not ma, okay? I know you know what the ma is. Enemy. Do you think they'll get it going 24/7? Most likely. And then Putin boasts hypersonic nukes capable of wiping out U.S. cities are bigger, better, and already on alert, sparking WW3 fears. It says Vladimir Putin today boasted that the Russian hypersonic nukes capable of wiping out entire U.S. cities are already on alert. The Russian leader sparked WW3 fears as he revealed his country has developed a weapon that flies more than 5 times faster than those being developed in the States. It says, speaking at an energy forum in Moscow, Putin said, this is not just a hypersonic. This is an intercontinental missile. So it is not only hypersonic, it will go across the planet. It says this is a much more serious weapon than you just said, and they're already on alert in Russia. However, he insisted nowhere is directly under threat and similar systems are being developed around the world. Putin added that there is nothing unusual here. The high-tech armies of the world will have such systems, and they will end in the near future. It says, we do not abuse this. We do not threaten anyone. So he's basically saying that, we're not the U.S. We don't use this to push around everybody, right? But, they do their own set of things over there in Russia. They do their own bullying through finances and gas lines and all sorts of other things.
And this is an upgrade to their status, because if you remember, we reported about a month and a half ago that they were on readiness, right? That he had said, okay, now they're on readiness. Well, now they're on alert, meaning they've moved to the next level.
And they just admitted
I'm not bullying anybody. We're not threatening anybody, but no, they're on alert. They're ready to go.
And by the way, there's other news. This is all compiling with Russia. So we have covered over the last 6 months all the different things that are going on, of course, with China, but Russia has moved forward with several events. So if you watch the show or pay attention to the news, you would know that Russia pushed about 150,000 troops up to the border of the Ukraine. Not only that, they brought all of their tanks, all of their missiles, all of their equipment. They set up actual tents. It was like okay, this is getting ready to invade Ukraine. And then at the last minute, the whole world is calling for peace. Everybody's scared. UN and NATO are all saying, like, don't do it, don't do it. And they say, oh, we were just drilling. Just kidding. Just messing with me. We're just kidding. 150,000. Just a joke. It was for a TikTok. No, it really wasn't for a TikTok. It was for Snapchat. No, it was really because guess what? The 150,000 that day they announced, the whole world was up in arms. They were all going, oh my gosh, they're going to take Ukraine. Then one day they go, oh, we were just doing a drill. And in that drill, by the way, during that period, they also essentially took control of waterways and all sorts of other things. What they also did was they left all of their equipment there. Satellite, and by the way, they didn't tell us there was 150. They said that there may have been up to 80 or 70,000, and then it turned into 90, and then it turned to 110, and then satellite images showed 150,000. So, and you know that was troops, not tanks, because the tanks, who knows now? Because we now found out that they have inflatable decoys that they're going to be putting up in the next conflict, right? That was actual troops. They counted over 150. And we have proof now. They say new satellite images show that it actually did have a whole lot more than we think, and possibly right now are doing some stuff. By the way, it says video footage of the missiles showed the 6,600 mile per hour rocket being fired from the nuclear-powered sub Severodvinsk before streaking out into the night sky. The weapon was launched from the surface in the White Sea and successfully hit a target in the Barents Sea. That's crazy. It went from the White Sea to the Barents Sea. That's incredible. It says Russia claims the unstoppable Mach 9 missile is able to evade all Western defenses. Who knows? They could be right. So wouldn't that mean that they could just tell us, like, hey, surrender or we'll destroy you? Well, not exactly, because we can nuke them and it's mutually assured destruction, right? That's why all of them are trying to come up with these crazy laser defense Iron Dome type systems so they can defend against it and nuke the other one off the planet. Let's see here. By the way, thank you. Just a special shout out to Cynthia Lynn, wherever you are. Thank you so much for all of your support. Snapper B, Jacktronics, Bruce Leroy. We've got Liberian Girl. Gone Girl, I'm praying for you. I know you might be in the hospital right now, and I'm hoping that you are good. Revolutionary Mama, wherever you may be. I hope that you are having a smooth pregnancy still. Revolutionary Mama, one of the Fugel fam, got in a car accident, well, I believe 8 months pregnant, rolled the car over and somehow survived. She did get dinged up and ended up staying in the hospital because they wanted to watch the baby because they said it was fine. So I'm praying for you and your husband. I hope you guys really, really have just everything go perfect. That's very scary. And then Ann Lynn, guys, pray for Ann and Lynn from the Ann Lynn Show. They are just amazing gals. And then apparently we've got the beanies for the homeless the beanies are actually getting sent to me right now. So hopefully we can get those and get them out. I was just going to tell you we're going to do some stuff on the streets and possibly grab a family to try to help them with toys this year. I hope we can get a Fugel family project going. And then, of course, Putin sees European gas crisis at Russia's golden chance. Do you want to explain this, Dex?
Yeah, certainly. So we have talked about the gas crisis in the natural gas crisis in Europe, and we've talked about this Nord Stream pipeline that was, I guess, fast-tracked and approved, even though it had been unapproved before. But the current administration went in and approved this gas pipe. And it now allows Russia to pipe natural gas into Europe directly into, I think, Germany. to then be distributed throughout there. But the thing is that because of this crisis with natural gas going up, meaning supply is huge or demand is huge, supply is low. This is kind of a golden opportunity, as the headline says, for Putin to basically generate a lot of wealth and create a lot of power, I guess, for Russia in Europe as they become more reliant on their gas.
They're basically this is how big countries can bully other little ones. By the way, just we have more to this. So, people here don't really care about what's going on over there. That's kind of the honest truth. But what if a country... Here's why I think that people should pay attention to what's going on with Russia, China, or any of these. These could be your rulers someday. And I don't think people realize that. With WW2, if it went a different way, we would have had a different world. So just remember that. We are due for a third world conflict. And for whatever reason, if one mistake is made and the greatest country on earth, makes a human error that ends up losing the conflict, or who knows, maybe Australia makes a mistake that loses it for everybody, or who knows. No offense, Australia. I guarantee you won't be the weakest link, Canada. But you know what I mean. You never know. And then Korea, of course, vows to strengthen ties with Russia on 73rd anniversary of bilateral ties. We didn't cover it the other night. I'll probably do a short. Make sure to go over to check Marfoogle News out for the shorts out. But there was this weird picture of North Korea and a guy in like a suit that almost looks like he's being launched out of like a cannon from a circus. Dex, that was a weird thing. I do admit. You are the one who showed me that.
Yeah, his crazy outfit. Like everyone is lined up for a picture with Kim, right? In NK, and they're all wearing their standard green uniforms except for Kim. He's in a suit and tie, and then you got this one oddball on the side that's like in this blue, white, and red skin tight jumpsuit. Looks like a superhero.
Dex, I think we have to show him at least a picture of it because we can't tell people this.
I'll get it. Give me 1 second.
Okay, that would be really mean to tell them about that and then not show them. It is a weird. It's weird. We'll show you that here in a second, but it says that they're basically being buddy-buddy. They are partnering up. Obviously, there's more than this. There's all of the different bad eye countries in the Middle East. They're calling it the new like kind of axis of evil thing. So it seems to me like everybody's finding their side. And then we have robot dogs can now have 6.5 millimeter assault rifles mounted on their backs. I talked about this in a short on Marfoogle News, and this is really scary. All you have to do is really look at this picture to understand the gravity of the situation. Here's the thing. Once this is designed for, of course, military use, that's where it goes first. But guess where it goes next? Can anybody tell me where this kind of dog with AI facial recognition, which, by the way, just watch, the Ray-Bans of today that technology will be on that tomorrow. If you were watching in the beginning of the show, Facebook has teamed up with this AR, augmented reality. They're using all of the information they're getting to train their AI to understand everything, hear everything, see everything, and understand what's going on around them. That today will end up being in something like this tomorrow, and probably by then it will be a human being robot walking around like a RoboCop. This is no joke. This is not a fiction. This is not an 80s fictional movie, cult classic, great movie. This is horrible real life and a scary ass scenario. Where would this end up after it goes to the military? Let's see who gets that. Boom. Busy Girl. Police stations will have them. Busy Girl, you're the first one I saw at least. Randy Newman, you got it right as well. Absolutely. This will go to police stations all over the world, if not here in the United States. In fact, the new police, right? Isn't it funny they're setting us up to reduce the amount of human police? Well, guess what? That's because in a few years we won't need them. And that's not a joke. You think that's a joke. This is happening, people, and these things happen in little tiny steps, and then all of a sudden you have full-blown AI, artificial intelligence, armed won't even be dogs by the time this hits, and this is not 10 years away. This is not 20 years away. This is a couple years away.
Adam, I can show you that's happening right now. If you go grab the links that are in Screener and take the third link, it's number 3. It's about Sword, which is the system that's being it's Sword Defense. And if you go to that page and scroll to the bottom, they sell to the military and they sell to law enforcement. It's right on the bottom of the page.
Look at that. So I mean, it's so crazy that this is happening and so fast, and so many things are changing right in front of our eyes. I mean, it's not funny. It's just, this is the scariest thing we've ever seen happen in just such a short amount of time. Let's see here. Don't know why that one's not loading. Either way, so can we link that?
I'll add that one. Yeah, I'll add it to the website. It's basically the manufacturer, but if you scroll to the bottom of the page of the manufacturer, it says who they sell to, and they sell to military and they sell to law enforcement.
Huh? Maybe they've already marked us in the Facebook blacklist, so we can't go to their website live. I don't know. Either way, here's the other one.
Speaking of which, there's other 2 links in there that are probably good for the show.
Okay, here. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, Dex. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the North Korean weirdo picture here. Okay, so this is part of a video. Which, what in the hell? It looks like he should have a propeller on the top of his head. This looks padded. So these are the same colors. These are the NK colors, right? The red, white, and blue, only it's the blue, white, and red. So here's the thing. I guarantee he will be shot out of a cannon, right? Because if you looked at what the 73rd event did, I saw other video footage of it. It was guys breaking bottles on their head and doing... one guy, obviously, they were fake chains or something. He was a big guy, but he just... Who knows? Maybe they are that savage. I mean, think about it. If you have no other entertainment, you are probably just like turning these people into monsters. He took a chain this thick and he broke out of it. And then he took bottles, smashed them and broke them together, and then threw them down on the ground and then laid down on them and then like did some stuff. That was entertainment for the dictator Kim Jong, or whoever this guy is. Dude, this does not look... Something just doesn't seem right about this Kim Jong-un guy. You know, the new one. Now his sister's talking for him. What the hell's going on? Somebody went in there and took him out and put in a clone.
That Superman suit's a little tight, if you ask me.
Yeah, I didn't know... Yeah, I'm just not. In fact, my mouse shouldn't even. No. Let me move this away. Sorry. Okay. Dex, do you want to tell us about, we've got...
Hey, do you want to grab that other link? It's worth pulling up, the New York City one, number 2 that I gave you.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we didn't miss this. New York City training with non-toxic gas. Non-toxic gas will be dispersed in New York City subways this month. The MTA and the Department of Homeland Security are conducting a somewhat ghoulish experiment this month. On 5 days between October... Are you kidding me? October 18th and 29th, they will be releasing non-toxic gas at about 120 subway stations to test New York City's response plans for a chemical or biological attack. Are you effing kidding me? So do you remember what I told you that the DOD member told me? That they are doing all these crazy things and they're preparing for a biological. It's just like within 2 years we would be at war with China. Within 2 years. And guess what? If we did go to full-scale war, I bet it wouldn't be nukes. I bet it would be biological. I bet it would be illegal biologicals. It says the airflow and dispersion study will simulate the aerosol release of a biological agent in a densely populated urban environment. And then look at what the other drills are. So if you're new to the show, we've also covered that FEMA is looking for people to work in urban containment, going out to the urban areas and containing a biological event that happens in the rural areas. So you're out in the country and they release something, how you could take people from the rural and basically contain it. That is freaky. It says, according to DHS, it will take place at Times Square. Are you kidding me here? World Trade Center Complex, Union Square Park, the Union Square subway stations, as well as the Oculus Transit Hub. Like how it's Oculus, right? That's just symbolic, right? It says, as mentioned earlier, the particle gas tracers are non-toxic and pose no health risks. According to the Daily News, the DHS says the non-toxic substances include salt, glycerol, maltodextrin sweetener, a fluorescent brightener, non-coding DNA, oligos, that just sounds scary, and amorphous silica, among others. So basically, they'll be able to go down the way and they'll be able to test how far it got, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Wait a minute. Do you think they'll be able to test if people have been in contact with this? Do you think they'll be able to randomly pick people and like conduct some sort of test to see if they ran into this?
Oh, you're right. Like if it's on their clothes.
And non-toxic by whose definition? I mean, those things don't sound like stuff you just want to ingest all day long.
Well, Dex, no. I eat non-coding DNA oligos for breakfast. Oligos are great with marshmallows. That's not what non-coding DNA oligos are?
Yeah, it's a breakfast of champions.
Oh, never mind. Those are Cheerios. These are non-coding DNA oligos. Either way, sorry, by the way, I apologize for saying blah, blah, blah. Now that I know what blah, blah, blah means, blah, blah, blah can actually stand for 666. Did you guys know that?
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not. How do you get to that?
Oh my gosh.
That's new to me.
I'll send you Jacob Israel's video, but BLA is the way that 6, it's something, how it stands for 6. So blah, and then when you say blah, 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 that's saying 666. Isn't that freaking weird? And it's like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like blah. The BLA is how you actually. It was like the original Greek or something. It was blah, so meant 6. So 666 is blah blah blah. And there was a speech by what's her face, the girl who was the Save Earth girl.
Greta Thorn.
Yes. Greta Thunberg and her, she said it several times, and it was quite symbolic. So anyways, you guys got to watch Jacob Israel's. So by the way, if you don't know, Jacob Israel, I talked to him for about a year before he did it. He was not trying to leave his job. He had it for a very long time. He was the top guy at his job. He was the best at what he did. And I kept, there were so many people that he basically was, there were so many people that wanted him to keep creating because honestly, you know, it's like he was helping people way more being on YouTube than he was doing his day job. There were people that he was spiritually helping all over the world doing YouTube, whereas he was helping people just wherever, you know, he was. But finally, they did some BS, which you guys can go over to his channel and see. He finally said, I'm out of here, and he left. So now he's making tons of videos. He's making tons of content. He's making shorts. He's making stories. He's making all sorts of stuff. And he's making more and more shows, and he's editing them, and he's putting them all together. He is really, really, I think he is prophetic. He doesn't say he is, but he does know that he's predicted a lot of things. But again, I think a lot of us are prophetic. I think it's not something that you ask for. It's just something that happens, and you don't have to believe that. I think that a lot of us are starting to get connected. A lot of us are starting to get connected to this stuff. By the way, I posted a post. I had a dream about a flood, and I'll probably go into it on another episode. I was absolutely shocked when I saw the Canary Islands mountain resorts. It was exactly what I saw in my dream. I described this probably almost a year ago, is the dream that I had. And what ended up happening is I had a really scary and very specific flooding dream where I was in a pickup truck and I was at a tee towards a marina, and this wave hit, and it hit the side of the truck, hit his mountaintop, and then we ended up hiking up this. It was like white Spanish style resort where we had like the light brown wood doors, and we were walking up, and every story we went up, we could see the electricity shocking and arcing, and then it would go out, and we were just trying to escape the water. Well, the weird part is I told my wife, and she goes, "You need to look at your sister's Facebook." And because my wife still has it, she goes, "Look at this." And my sister's dream was like another part of mine. It was like she was out in the water hanging on to a tree, and all this debris was around her. She had that the same night that I did. I went into detail on my community post, but I asked people, hey, tell me when that dream was, because what's even scary is I got chills. I was watching KJ, the scariest movie ever video, and about this gentleman talking about his dream about La Palma and about Canary Islands. And I got chills. And all of a sudden I thought mountain resort. He was talking about how God lifted him up and showed him that the whole West Coast and California was separated. The East Coast was gone. And then I got chills when he said that he kept hearing Canary Islands. For whatever reason, I thought of mountain resort. I ended up searching mountain resort Canary Islands, and I saw, and I immediately knew. Right when I saw it, I said, this is my dream. I've never been to the Canary Islands. I've never been to, La Palma. That was my dream. And that, in the pictures of it, the pictures of that whole area are what I described a year ago to the T on my show. And I didn't realize it and that's why I wanted to find that show to go back and actually go back and because now I can't remember. I didn't think it was that important back then. I thought it was weird both my sister and I had it, but now once I saw that area, it freaked me out. I've never been prophetic. I'm not prophetic. I think that a lot of us are starting to get signals. Something is starting to click. That sounds crazy, but guess what? Everything's crazy now. I was put on this planet. If you guys knew about the beginning of this channel and how everything worked out and how the Foogle family worked out and how everything happened, you wouldn't believe it. So I told people before this happened, I said, I knew that this was going to happen. So I'm not saying you guys know. You guys all feel it. You are all with me on this one. Flawless Foos. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and everybody over on DLive, thank you guys for continuing to support our channel. Again, thank you, Defrustrated, Lady Green Eyes, Moxie71. Dex, can you tell us about the web-only content?
Absolutely. So go to marfooglenews.com, click on the thumbnail for today's show, or go to the description and click on the first link right there. It'll take you directly to today's show notes page. Scroll down to web-only content. It's right past the contest. So if you're looking for the contest, that's how you get to it. But right after that, you'll find the rest of the show. Everything else we can't talk about. Either too hot for TV, two-sided, just didn't make the cut. But some really great stuff there. There's a crazy insurance ad that you may have seen because it's been pretty viral. Go take a look at that. You'll probably be shocked. Some pharmaceutical representative running from somebody. Take a look at that. Joe Rogan goes toe-to-toe with Gupta. And that's pretty interesting. It's the clip you want to see. You can go watch his whole show, but there's the important clip. And even more stuff about, what Rogan was involved with there and what maybe Congress had been doing. That's also linked there much further down. So a whole lot of extra content, marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail for the show. Scroll down to that orange headline. It says web-only content and get everything you're missing. And if you're on YouTube, just click in the first link in the description.
Thank you, Dex. And remember, when you end up going over there, if you do want to support in any way, that helps support Dex as well. Appreciate everybody that has joined us tonight. By the way, thank you, everybody that has ended up sending stuff to the P.O. Box. I appreciate you. That might move soon. But again, I thank everybody for your letters. Just so you know, I have not been there in a few months. So if you have sent stuff, I'm going to be doing it I'm actually going to be picking it up in about a week. So if you did want to send something, send it now. I have not been there for a long time, so don't get mad if I haven't got your stuff yet. And then Stefan D and Steel 1, thank you guys for supporting. And then, by the way, there were the Naughty Gypsy. Thank you guys for supporting Marfoogle News on PayPal. Says, thank you, Adam and Dex, for all you do. Much love. Shout out for the excellent mods. Chicky R says, Bip Bop Bam. Allah Kazam. Sending love from Northeastern Maryland. Thank you, Chicky R. Always funny comments. Renee H, thank you so much for all that you give us thirsty people, for all that you are, a patriot. God bless you and fam. Thank you, Renee H. and Jarek C. and Bayberry's Antique Dolls. Everybody, thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank your mods. Put an M in the chat. Make sure to thank one of these mods by name. Whichever one you feel did a great job tonight, make sure to tell them. Only positive, never negative. Dex, thank you so much. Love you.
Much love. Great show.
Now it's time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most. You. Billy Amos, 100 breathing. Everybody knows El Desiree are not grown. We are back like everybody grown. Here we all the dogs and we say, I look. I got the battle born in the 1-1. Got the Ralph and the 4 layers in one. Hey, hey, with the 20 up prosperity, 12 Dex J and the JF and 5. 7 on the blow towards Bobby. Thanks Rip Curl for that party. Hardly. Hey, a big shout out to Rip Curl on the Rip Curl. I saw West Virginia up in here. Nicole. You should get his L-O-O-M-O-O on my head, don't they? Oh, I say, yes, okay. Boom, 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 boom. Elizabeth Cabro, faith on the basso. Everybody gonna go grab your lasso. Wonder Woman, bring your shoeman. I'm gonna be your pushing Lubin. Hey, everybody knows it's all about the food goes. And that wild goes millennial on that ride. Whoa now, moving back down. Everybody knows we got the Fugo fan. Nobody down. Oh now, oh enjoy. Architect and that day and homemade tan night. Stone McBlaze like Penny G, Katie Cat, and the Joseph and New House, and the Mark C, and the what's the name 45. I was walking down the street, I saw them and they saw me. I was walking down the street, I saw them and they saw me. Mike on 7, on a Mick on 7, bring it back down, see you at 7-Eleven. If I see your Fugo on the street, give me a hug, give me a wee. I was walking down the street, I saw them and they saw me. I was walking down the street, I saw them and they saw me. I was walking down the street, I saw them and they saw me.